Hello everyone, welcome to this previous short video. I'm John. In this video, we will have a quick introduction to RStudio and tell you how to use RStudio to import, export data and get a summary of your data. After opening RStudio, this is the interface you should see. We should go to the new file and click RScript. Then you will see that there are 4 different regions in the interface. The upper left corner is the script area where you can write down your code and edit your code. After writing down your code, you can click the line and click the Run button here. Then, RStudio will execute the code and give you the result in the left lower corner console panel. Select multiple lines and click Run if you want to run multiple lines. Also, you can click the Source button to run all the code in this script. You can see all the results in the console panel. If you do not want to click this tiny button, you can use Ctrl-Enter to replace the Run button. And you can also select multiple lines and Ctrl-Enter to run. After computing some value, if you think the value is useful, you may want to save it, right? For example, if you are going to save 1 plus 1, you can use this command. This command means that you want to save 1 plus 1 to a variable called a. After you run this line, you can see that next to the script panel, it is the environment panel that saves all the variables you save in RStudio. This line means that the variable a has a value of 2, or you can say a is equal to 2 now. So you can use a as 2 in RStudio now. For example, a plus 2 gives you the result 4. We can save b equal to 3 and c equal to 4. If you execute a plus b plus c is same as 2 plus 3 plus 4, which gives you a result of 9. Be careful about 2 things. First, RStudio is case sensitive, which means uppercase B different from lowercase b in RStudio. For example, if you save the uppercase B as 10, you can see that the lowercase b and uppercase B coexist and represent different values. Second, you should not save different value to the same variable. Otherwise, the original value will be overwritten by the latest one. For example, our a equal to 2 now, but if we save a as 100, look here, after running this line, a's value is updated to 100. The original a equal to 2 vanished in RStudio's environment. You should avoid overwriting previous variables if they are essential. After talking about number, let's talk something about the characters. In RStudio, you need to add quotation marks to let the computer know it is characters. For example, you can type print, quotation, and hello world if you want to print hello world. If you do not add the quotation marks, RStudio will treat hello world as a variable that's saved in the environment and send you an error since no variable is named hello world. Last but not least, the lower right corner is the graphing panel for RStudio to display the plot that was created by the code. For example, you want to get a histogram of 100 random data from a standardized normal distribution. After running this code, RStudio will display the histogram here. If you think this graph is helpful for a presentation or research, you can save this graph by clicking the Export button and selecting the format you want to save. You can change the size of the graph and save it to the folder you wish to by clicking the directory and naming this graph. For example, we save it to a temp folder and name it rplot. Then you can find a PDF called outplot in that folder. Open it, and that is the graph created by RStudio. Next, we come across our main dish data export and data import. Suppose you are a TA and want to save multiple homework score inside RStudio. Use our function cbracket to collect all the score and separate them by a comma. For example, there are 4 homework scores, and these are the scores of one of the students. Then you can see that the variable homework scores appear in the environment panel and contain 4 values. To read this data, just type homework scores and run. Then R can print it out. In a class, there is always more than one student. How can we create a dataset with several rows and several columns to represent different students and homework respectively? To do that, let the name of the data be class record and use a function called dataFrame. That creates a frame to contain all of our data. Then we need to input our data column-wisely. For homework 1, if all 4 students get full marks, we can input the cbracket and 104 times. Then separate the data of each column by a comma. Fill in the homework 2, 3, 4 similarly. Then we can see our data by typing class, and you can use the tab key on your keyboard to let RStudio give you suggestion of the name. Run it, and you can see the dataset now. There are 4 columns for 4 homeworks and 4 rows for 4 students. Remember, what you type inside the function represents the value in different columns. If you change this to this, you can see the dataset change accordingly. Then, we can give the name of each row by using the function row names and select the dataset class record and save the name as John, Frank, Lucy, and May. Remember, we need to add quotation marks to let RStudio know that these are characters, not variables. Then, return this line and you can see the row name. Then, next question is, how can you save this dataset into an Excel file or CSV file? First, go to Session and set Working Directory and set the directory to the folder that you locate your Excel or CSV file. Click Open. After you see this line, RStudio has already updated the working directory, and RStudio will work on this folder now. Therefore, we can save and read the document from that folder. Then, to write our dataset into CSV file, use a function called write.csv. First, input the data name you want to save, then name the CSV file as classrecord.csv. Run this line and you can see the CSV file that you just create in the folder. If you want to save it in an Excel file, go to File, Save, Save as Excel workbook. Then, the next question is, how can we import the data? We cannot do it directly import an Excel file by using basic R code. One recommendation for you is to convert an Excel file to a CSV file first by save a copy and browse, then change the type to CSV. After you click Save, there is a new CSV file here, and you can import it to RStudio. How to do that? It is simple. Use the function read.csv and input the CSV file's name. Run this line, and you can see that RStudio read the dataset. You can save the dataset as insurance data in RStudio's environment for later use. Use the function head to see the first 6 lines to make sure you do everything correctly. You can also add one more argument to change the number of lines you want to view, for example, 10 and 20. After importing a big dataset, we always want to get a quick summary of the data first. To do that in R, it is straightforward. Just use the function called summary and enter the name of the variable that saves your dataset. Now, RStudio can summarize your numerical data like minimum, maximum, mean, etc. However, the data containing characters, RStudio have some difficulty handling them. Remember, we always need particular action to let RStudio understand the characters data. In the function read.csv, we need to add one more argument, string as factor. And you can also use the tab key to autocomplete and set it equal to true. Keep in mind that we need to use the uppercase true here. We use the summary function again, and you can see that RStudio can now summarize all of this numerical and categorical data. Last, let's have a quick summary. We have learned how to use write.csv and read.csv to export and read data. Remember to change your working directory first and add quotation marks to all characters. Then, you can use the function summary to summarize the data. We will use RStudio to do more advanced tasks on different datasets in the workshop. Therefore, you must know how to import and export data. That's all of this pre-workshop video. Thank you and bye-bye.